To Lucasta, Going to the Wars is a clever poem, and maybe even kind of funny, even though it was written in prison by a guy who was on the losing side of a war. Richard Lovelace was a 17th century English poet and nobleman. Born into a wealthy family in 1618, Lovelace was educated at Oxford, and he became a prominent figure in the court of Charles I. He was a royalist. He supported the king, and not everyone did at that time. Parliament wanted more power, and the king didn't want to give up any of his, so England had a civil war. Lovelace served as a soldier in the Royalist army against the Parliamentarians, led by Oliver Cromwell. Richard Lovelace was part of a group that we call the Cavalier Poets. His poetry often reflects the themes characteristic of Cavalier poets: loyalty to the crown, romantic love, honor, and the pleasures of life. This poem, To Lucasta, Going to the Wars, comes from a collection that he wrote in 1649, while imprisoned in London. Let's read it. Tell me not, sweet, I am unkind, that from the nunnery of thy chaste breast and quiet mind to war and arms I fly. True, a new mistress now I chase, the first foe in the field, and with a stronger faith embrace a sword, a horse, a shield. Yet this inconstancy is such as you too shall adore. I could not love thee, dear, so much. Loved I not honor more. I notice that a lot of commentary that you will find online say that this poem is an apostrophe. Apostrophe is, according to the Oxford Dictionary of Literary Terms, a rhetorical figure in which the speaker addresses a dead or absent person, or an abstraction or inanimate object. I can see why they'd call this poem that, but I don't think it is. Does the speaker address a dead or absent person, or an abstraction or an inanimate object? No. She's standing right there. I think it's much more helpful to see this as a dramatic poem. By this, I mean it is in the context of a dramatic situation. There is the speaker and somebody listening to the speaker, present and not dead at all, and she can talk. The whole poem is a response to what she just said. The speaker and Lucasta are like characters on a stage that do things and say things. They interact with each other, and we watch what happens from our position in the audience. It sounds like a dramatic situation to me. It's like a play. So what did Lucasta just say before the speaker starts off on his little monologue? Lucasta, whose pet name is Sweetie, in this dramatic situation has just delivered her lines, and the male lead responds, "Tell me not, sweet, I am unkind." Even though we didn't hear it, we know what she said. Upon him telling her that he's going to the wars, she did this. "Oh, you're so unkind." She's upset that he's leaving her to go fight in some war. The poet has set up a contrast between being with Lucasta and being on the battlefield. The speaker is departing from the nunnery of thy chaste breast. A nunnery is a place where nuns live. But consider the connotations of that word. Peaceful, feminine, spiritual, contemplative, quiet, purity, devotion, piety, seclusion, modesty. All these ideas are packed into that single word nunnery. This is one of the reasons why poetry is so cool. It's so densely packed. The poet used one word to say 10 things. Another thing to note about these lines is that two body parts are mentioned. Breast and arms. Back in the day, the word breast was used to refer to the chest area in general. Of men too, so settle down. And arms. The word arms has more than one denotation, more than one meaning. It's the body part, but it can also mean weapons. So which does it mean in this instance? It means both. He's going off to war, and so also to the weapons of war, to arms. But look at what else is happening. Let's add the next stanza. True, a new mistress now I chase, the first foe in the field, and with a stronger faith embrace a sword, a horse, a shield. He's running from the chaste breast, the faithful heart of Lucasta, into the embrace, into the arms of another, a new mistress. Clever, eh? And this new mistress is named a couple of times. The first foe in the field, and a sword, a horse, a shield. The first foe in the field is the guy in the front lines of the opposing army. Field here means battlefield. Our speaker will be in front of the charge. That's his new mistress. And he will embrace his new lover with a stronger faith, with a greater passion than that with which he embraced Lucasta. And he's saying this to Lucasta's face. There's a strong contrast established in all kinds of ways between Lucasta and the new mistress. Have a look at the consonants, especially in the first stanza, that emphasize this difference, if you're up for the challenge. And then we come to the last stanza. Yet this inconstancy is such as you too shall adore. I could not love thee, dear, so much. Loved I not honor more. Inconstancy is the old-timey word for unfaithfulness. The speaker tells Lucasta that she should not only not be mad, but to adore his unfaithfulness to her, because his love for her wouldn't be nearly as great if he didn't love honor more than he loved her. The first foe in the field and the sword and the horse and the shield are all packed into the idea of honor and duty. If he didn't stand up for his duty and his honor, his principles and his convictions, well then his love for her wouldn't be worth much either. That's the logic. Basically, she should be happy that he's the man he is. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.